Right before midnight, the world went quiet. Not peaceful, wrong. I was alone in a cabin deep in the Appalachian Mountains, and the silence felt like it was listening back. Then my phone lit up with a message sent from my own number. I hadn't moved. I hadn't made a sound, but something outside already knew where I was. I didn't come up here to celebrate the new year. I came because I needed the noise to stop. The town barely existed on a map, Caldwell Fork, the kind of place people forget on purpose. The cabin looked smaller than I remembered, like the woods had moved closer when I wasn't looking. I remember thinking how easy it would be to break in here. That thought stayed with me. The air smelled like wet wood and old time, like nothing had changed in years. I ate straight from the pot. It felt wrong to make dishes when no one else was here. I kept checking the time, the way you do when you're waiting for something you don't want to admit. The mountains swallowed the sound. Even celebration felt far away. The fog made the yard feel shorter, like I wouldn't have time to react if something moved. I told myself it was an animal. I needed it to be an animal. Locking the door felt pointless. I still did it. My phone had been acting strange all week. I blamed the mountains. At 11:58, the cabin felt like it was holding its breath. The message was from my own number. And somehow, that scared me more than anything else. It told me I was about to check the lock, and I did. It told me not to look outside. That's when my hands started shaking. It told me not to look outside. That's when my hands started shaking. It said there was someone at the tree line, and that I'd convinced myself it was a deer. When midnight hit, it didn't feel like a new year. It felt like a mistake. It told me to put the phone down and count. That wasn't the house settling. Something was standing there. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I waited to be found. The messages weren't daring me. They were warning me. The landline was dead. Of course it was. It told me my car wouldn't start before I even tried. That's when I noticed the marks, the handprint, the mud. It tapped on the window like it knew I was listening. It mentioned the shed, and suddenly I couldn't stop thinking about it. It said I'd open the door in 30 seconds and die. The footprint stopped at my door, then turned away. I left a week later, but every New Year's Eve, I turned my phone off. I was driving through the mountains on New Year's Eve, telling myself I'd be home before midnight. The gas station was open, but there wasn't a single person inside. No signal. 11:41. I remember thinking I still had time. The trees were loud out here, like they were warning me. The sign said no outlet. I turned anyway. The road got thinner. The drop beside me got deeper. The radio kept cutting in and out, like someone was trying to talk through it. As midnight got closer, I felt like I was running out of road. Fireworks went off somewhere far away. They didn't sound happy. That's when my engine hesitated. Just for a second. And then it stopped. Completely. The silence hit harder than the noise ever did. I saw two lights down the road, moving slowly toward me. My phone rang exactly at midnight. I didn't answer. I listened. The passenger door handle moved by itself. I locked the doors again, even though they already were. There was something standing in the fog. Then it wasn't. Someone was walking around my car. I checked the mirror. The road behind me was empty. A handprint appeared on the back window from the outside. They knocked once, like they were polite. When the fireworks stopped, the world felt abandoned. I tried the key again and prayed. The lights died. Everything went black. I wasn't alone anymore. I didn't touch anything, but the door unlocked. And then everything came back. I didn't look back. I just drove. In daylight, I found mud on my door handle, and I still don't know who left it. I was driving through the mountains on New Year's Eve trying to make it home before midnight. My phone kept lighting up with missed calls, all from numbers I didn't recognize. Somewhere, people were celebrating. Out here, it felt wrong. The road was closed. No workers. No warning. Just darkness. I took the detour. I didn't have a choice. Then I saw something lying in the road. I slammed the brakes. It wasn't an animal. It was a shoe. The quiet felt heavier than the fog. I turned my flashlight on, even though I didn't want to see. There were drag marks leading into the woods, and blood mixed into the mud. The fireworks were still going, like nothing had happened. That's when I heard footsteps. Someone whispered, but I couldn't make out the words. I could feel someone watching me from the trees. I ran back to the car. The car wouldn't start. A muddy hand pressed against my window. The handle started to move. I heard a scream, and then nothing. When the fireworks stopped, the world felt empty. Then the engine started, like it had been waiting. I drove without looking back. In the mirror, someone was standing in the road. I realized I wasn't alone in the car. My phone rang again, same number. No one spoke. I could only hear breathing. There was another car blocking the road. A body lay beside it, not moving. My hands were shaking, and there was blood on them. The police arrived at sunrise. They kept asking me what I saw. The headline called it a New Year's Eve homicide. Every New Year's since, I keep my phone off. I don't want to know who's calling. By the time I reached the town, it felt like everyone had already left. It was New Year's Eve, 11:47. Every house was dark, every window, except one. I don't know why I stopped. Fireworks sounded wrong out here, like gunshots. The front door was already open. I stepped inside before I could talk myself out of it. The family photos had their faces scratched out. The TV was on, counting down to midnight. I heard someone upstairs. The table was set, dinner untouched. There was dried blood near the sink. The clock was getting close to 12. I wasn't alone anymore. The hallway felt narrower than it should have. One bedroom light was still on. The bed was empty, but recently used. The closet door moved on its own. When the fireworks stopped, the house went quiet. My reflection looked delayed, like it wasn't keeping up. A blood-soaked towel was stuffed behind the door. My phone buzzed. A missing persons alert for this area. The basement door was open. The smell hit me halfway down. There were drag marks across the floor. No bodies, just evidence. I felt someone standing behind me. Then the lights went out. I used my phone light and ran. I wasn't the only one moving. The front door was locked. Someone knocked from outside. Midnight hit. I went out the window. I ran until I couldn't hear the house anymore. The police lights appeared through the fog. They said the family never made it to the new year. That house still haunts me because I was the last one to see the lights on.